So we've done those geometry problems, and now let's see what happens when we don't have the geometry in the background and we're just told to find a perpendicular line through a given point. So write the slope-intercept form. That means this is our target because it has m for the slope and intercept for b for the line that passes through -3, -2. So this is the given point. But it also has to be perpendicular to the graph of x plus 4y. Now right now, this is in standard form, and it's a little bit difficult to see what the slope is when it's in standard form. So I'm going to consider this part to be the side work. So here's x plus 4y equals 12. And to get that in slope-intercept form, I'll take away x, divide by 4, which helps me see that y is -1/4 x plus 3. So if that's the original line, that means that our new line is going to be a flip of that, 4/1, but not just negative anymore. You have to change the sign, so it's going to become positive. So that's why I didn't write anything in front of the slope for this one. Well, we know the slope now. It's 4. We are going to have to figure out the y-intercept because in all of this wording, there's no mention of a y-intercept for this line. And the other thing, it's not like they'd have the same y-intercept. That would be in a different spot that was. Because if this is a line, and I wanted to draw a perpendicular line to it, it can be anywhere to the right or anywhere to the left. And what I mean is, for all we know, it could be over here, here, or here. So by locking it into -3, -2, that doesn't tell us anything about the y-intercept without doing work. So I'll plug a -3 in here because I know it has to go through this line. I'll put -2. 4 times 3 is 12. Make it negative and add b. b is 10. Now that we found the y-intercept, we just plug in the 4x, add the 10 on at the end, and we are finished with this problem. And it's nice to check it out. You know, let's make sure we're accurate. We got 4, which does match the 1/4 when we did some math. Now that's after we changed things, so it's hard to check it with this. Maybe once you get really good at this, you could picture this becoming negative on the other side and then being divided by 4. We should also check in our heads to see if this value works out. So 4 times -3 gives me -12, plus 10 gives me -2. I feel pretty confident that that's accurate. Write the slope-intercept form of a line, of an equation for the line that passes through here and is perpendicular to the graph of this. Let's make this an OYO, and then notice that it's not in standard form. It's already in slope-intercept form, so it's probably less work. So pause the video. I'll put the work up in a few seconds. Here's the work for it. If you find it helpful calling apart each separate one, go ahead and do that. The most common mistakes is by accident treating it like it's a parallel line. And so since it's perpendicular, you have to remember to do the opposite reciprocal. If you just use 2/3, that means you're finding a line that's parallel to it that also goes through that point. So make sure you're reading these directions closely. That could be a reason why if you look in the back of the book and see something different for these problems that you've made a mistake. Just reading it a little too quickly or doing the wrong type of problem. For some of you, maybe doing this might be a little bit more confusing, in which case just make sure you're tracking it smoothly. And the only thing I'll say is if I plug 4/7 in here, here's 4. Well, 4/2 becomes 2, times 3 becomes 6, make it negative, plus 13 does give you 7. So make sure you're checking these as you go along. So we've done the ones with geometry, and now we're doing ones where it's just straight into the wording and kind of those just follow them through type problems.